Okay, have you noticed that Indian languages have words for 1.5 called dade, 2.5 called dhai, sawa is 1.25, but English does not have any such words? This is because, unlike Europe, Indian languages were adapted to the advanced mathematics taught in Indian pathshalas. In fact, there are reports that say that the defining feature of Indian pathshalas was mental arithmetic. Tables from 1 to 30 were taught by oral repetition, and also fractional tables were taught. For example, 50 multiplied by 1.25, 1.5, 2.5, and so on. Also, fractional multiplication was taught, including 1/4 multiplied by 1.5, 1.5 multiplied by 2.5, and so on. In fact, one multiplication method needed kids to memorize all integers multiplied by all fractions. The British collector of Ahmedabad, Crawford, has recorded that he was amazed to see the complexity of mathematical calculations that students barely 10 years old were expected to master. He observed that pupils had mastered advanced arithmetics even before they had acquired proficiency in reading and writing the alphabets. While Europe was still wrestling with Roman numerals, which are terrible for complex arithmetic, Indian scholars like Brahmagupta and Bhaskar were codifying advanced fractional classes. Macaulay's famous Minute on Indian Education completely withdrew state patronage from these indigenous pathshalas, only to fund an elite English medium system designed to create a class of persons Indian in blood and color but English in taste. And because the British made English the mandatory filter for state jobs, the vast network of local pathshalas starved to death. And India's current hyperfixation on rote learning, rigid boards, structural examinations, and the severe socioeconomic divide between English speaking elites and vernacular speakers is the direct intended outcome of Macaulay's blueprint. There's so much to say on this, and if you would like it, I will make a part two sometime in the near future. But in the meantime, follow for more.